Hey everyone, and welcome back to NPStation. Today I'm going to be reviewing the first ever nonfiction book on NPStation, which is Beyond the Bell, 12 Lessons for Navigating Your Life After High School. This is written by Melissa Pyrch. So this book was so inspirational. I loved it so much, and I really recommend you guys to read it as well. I am going to share with you guys some of the amazing things I learned from this book, so please do stay tuned, and I'll see you soon. Things we know. Welcome back, guys. So this book has such a big impact on me. It really taught me so many valuable lessons that will stick with me throughout my life. And it does say that these lessons are for kids to navigate their life after high school. I had just started high school, but I was still able to connect with Miss Pyrch in this book very well. So it shows that this book, I would recommend it definitely like 14 plus. It's a great book to read. And this is the first book, like I mentioned before in this video, that nonfiction book on NPStation that I've shared, but it's also the first nonfiction book I've ever read, and it's the perfect one to start off with. So if you guys are looking for nonfiction books, this is the one that I would recommend. But I'm gonna just go ahead and share with you guys some of the lessons that I've learned. So there are 12 chapters in this book, each one covering one lesson. In my opinion, there are so many more lessons that I've learned in this book. So the first one is to welcome fear. That is one of the most important ones in this book. And basically in that lesson, Miss Pyrch talks about how you should welcome fear in your life. You should greet it with a smile, because she shares that when you are scared, it shows that you really care about that specific thing, whether it's about who you aspire to be or a college that you really want to go to, and you're scared about if you're going to get in or not. That being scared just shows that you really care about that. And she also talks about how, if there was no fear in life would be pretty boring. And that's so true if you do think about it. She shares this great example of how if your diploma had directions on what the next steps in your life, it's not that it wouldn't be nice, but it would be kind of boring because your whole life is already planned out for you and you don't have those exciting moments where you're kind of scared and thinking or anticipating what's going to happen next. So she shares that very valuable lesson to the readers, which is very important. And also, you might have heard about that lesson, which is to, welcome fear or don't be scared of fear. But the way that Miss Pyrch puts it in her own words is so much more impactful and much more better than you've heard it before. So another very common lesson is to make mistakes, right? You've probably heard that from your parents, to your grandma, to your close friend. But the way Miss Pyrch puts it in her own words is so much better because it really hits you in a different way. And so no matter how I say it in my own words to you guys, it'll never be as motivational as this book was to me. So overall, please do read this book because you will definitely love it. And in that chapter where she talks about making mistakes, she shares that by making mistakes, you'll be able to turn into a new person, into a better person, and learn from your previous mistakes. And another big thing that will probably stick with me forever is the phrase of throwing spaghetti. So the whole process of that is basically sticking your hand into a boiling pot full of spaghetti and launching it at the wall. Either that spaghetti sticks to the wall or it slides right down. So that whole process is trial and error. It's persistence, which really is the key to becoming what you want to be or achieving your dreams. So Ms. Pyrch shares so many of her personal life experiences, which makes this book 10 times better, because I feel that I was really able to connect with her in this entire book, because she would share her personal experiences that she's gone through and how she's thrown pots and pots of spaghetti at the wall. But at the end of this book, she ended up having the life she wanted ever since she was a child, which is so inspirational. And by her sharing her personal experiences, it makes this book so much better. I could really connect with her in a different way. So usually what I feel, this is the first nonfiction book I've read, but by listening to podcasts, and if they don't really share their personal experiences, it's kind of boring and it's not that entertaining. It's also quite hard for you to we really connect with what they're saying, because it's harder for you to really think about what you've gone through to match what they're saying. But Miss Pyrch's examples just make it so much better. She also gives examples from her former students. I don't know if I mentioned, but Miss Pyrch is actually an English teacher at a high school. And I really wish she was my English teacher, because I feel like I would love that class. She shares her just some things that she's learned from her former students, and how she learned over the course of the years that class does not end when the bell rings, because so many of our students have stayed after school just wanting to talk to Miss Pyrch about what they're going through in their personal lives. And it's just so inspirational, because those kids are closer to my age, so I'm able to relate to them more. She shares some stuff about how they would have few classes where the kids would go up and just share, like give a short little speech to the entire class. And just that small movement of getting up and sharing their experiences, it made such a big impact on the class and also the reader. So I, again, recommend this book to all of you guys. Miss Pyrch has given so many other recommendations of like other motivational nonfiction books, which I can't wait to read. I've taken note of those, and thank you so much, Miss Pyrch, for sending me this book. Honestly, I had such a great experience reading it, and I can't wait to read this book like 4 years down the lane when I'm done with high school, because that is where you've written this book for kids who have graduated high school. So I read it, I still was able to relate to it so much, but I feel like a few years down the lane I'll be able to relate to it more. And I feel like I should do a video a few years later when I reread this book and share my thoughts and emotions with you guys later on. So I think that'd be really cool. I'd probably have a bigger impact on me later on when I read it again. But thank you so much, Miss Pyrch, for this book. I recommend all of you guys to read it. If you're looking for a nonfiction book, this is the one to read. There were so many other lessons that Miss Pyrch teaches us which are so valuable and motivational. It will have a big impact on your life. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to NP Station. But that's all for today. Keep reading, keep coding, and stay safe.